Founder Janelle, congrats on raising your $10 million round. I am delighted to be leading your fundraise. What is the first thing that you're going to prioritize with this new capital?
Well, VC Eric, I'm going to Disneyland!
I may have made a horrible mistake. Actually, it's not a bad idea to take a vacation as a founder. In fact, building a recurring time to just slow down may be one of the best things that you can do to succeed in your startup. This episode talks about why slowing down matters so much and how you should think about building in this practice.
Before we jump into this topic, let's slow down ourselves and remind you to like and subscribe to Uncapped Notes.
Very smooth, Janelle. Okay, let's talk about slowing down. So slowing down seems like the total opposite of what Silicon Valley is all about. In fact, our own fund is called Hustle Fund, and we think that great hustlers operate with awesome velocity. So why would we advocate for slowing down?
If anyone listening is a founder, they probably have a hard time planning beyond a week or a month ahead. Startups can feel super reactive, where you need to operate with crazy speed and throughput in order to compete. However, just operating in a reactive mode isn't a great way to build toward a super big vision.
Now, I certainly have been guilty of this as a founder. In my first company, which I ran for 9 years, I was constantly monitoring movements from competitors, reacting to feedback from customers, trying to land more sales. It felt like I was in control of my own destiny at times. But how does this all relate to slowing down?
So when we say slow down, we're talking about building in recurring space for you to not be in reactive mindset, but actually mindfully plan for the future. This could be longer term strategy, thinking about the values that matter to you or your company, or where you want the world to go, and how you can inspire others to move toward a big outcome.
So more confession time for me. I wasn't a big believer in vacations until fairly recently. Even when I took vacations with my family as a founder for many years, I would still work quite a bit because of an internal drive to feel productive. And also a somewhat toxic identity crisis where I felt like I was my company and my success was me, which I am slowly realizing isn't the case. So Janelle, one thing I really admire about you is that you are a deeply productive leader in our company, but it seems like you have found a good practice to slow down and think about your big picture. Can you tell us a little bit about those practices that you incorporate in your life?
Sure. So I do 3 things: morning pages, meditation, and vacations.
Ooh, let's learn more about these. So what are morning pages?
So morning pages is pretty simple. I wake up early, make a nice cup of coffee, and open a notebook. I try to write 3 pages of pure free writing. I write down anything that comes to mind without any self-editing, without the intent of reading it again or sharing it with anyone. And I really mean it when it comes to writing about anything. Maybe it's chores I find annoying, a new hobby I want to pursue someday. Anything that comes to mind in the moment goes onto the page. After I go through this process, it creates a remarkable clarity and space in my mind.
This is so cool, Janelle. I used to kind of crap on the value of journaling of any form, but then I tried it a few years ago myself, and I became a really big believer. What I noticed about myself is that when I'm in reactive mode, or that fight or flight part of my brain, I can't think strategically or break through tough problems. But writing in the way that you suggest, Janelle, puts you more into that neocortex zone of your brain where you are conditioning yourself to think in a higher order way. And that's a pretty great way to start your morning.
Yeah, morning pages has been a great practice for me, but a fair warning to everyone watching, it is a big habit to commit to. I usually take about 30 to 40 minutes each morning to do this, but in different parts of the day, I can build in other practices like Meditation. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the afternoon or whenever you need it, but it definitely takes a bit less time.
How do you go about meditation, Janelle?
Really? Don't overthink it. Just get an app. I use Calm and I love it.
Oh my gosh, I love Calm. And there are a lot of other free alternatives you can also find in the App Store as well, or even on YouTube. But the guided component of Calm or these meditation apps is really nice. And for you, Janelle, how long do you do this for? And what are you getting out of it?
Typically, 10 minutes, maybe in the morning or night, once or twice per day. Meditation calms the elevated sympathetic nervous system and brings you to a better place to solve problems. It actually feels like a mini vacation.
Oh, I dig this so much. You reminded me of a quick story I once heard about the Dalai Lama. So apparently he has a practice of meditation for 1 hour every morning. And one day his assistant told him that he had a very busy schedule and stressful day ahead. So perhaps he should cut down his daily meditation just for that day. To which the Dalai Lama responded, "If it's going to be a really stressful day today, then I will meditate for 2 hours."
Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, but let's talk about vacations next. Why do you think founders should take regular vacations?
Well, vacations have the benefits that you mentioned from morning pages and meditation. You're building in space for your mind and body to recover, and vacations are designed for slowing down. I think I learned how to do these particularly well from one of our founders.
You must be talking about Tara Viswanathan, co-founder of Ruba Health.
Yes, Tara is one of the best founders I've ever worked with. And what she does is a quarterly 3-day retreat over a weekend by herself. She'll find an Airbnb in nature, go there just by herself. And for 3 days, she will just exercise, read, sleep, eat well. And every time she's done this, I've noticed an explosion of amazing ideas and execution that follows. She has really taught me that vacations are a tool for accelerating the speed towards achieving her vision, and now I am a believer.
Founders, it might seem like we're talking from both sides of our mouths. As a VC, you'll hear things about how speed matters. And in this episode, we talk about how slowing down at times matters. Because both do matter.
The longer I am in this startup game, the more I realize that it's all about pacing. At this point, startup founders should assume that it will take somewhere between 10 and 15 years before that IPO or massive exit is going to happen. So running as fast as you can isn't sustainable, but the very best founders pace themselves, still aggressively, and take necessary breaks to recalibrate themselves to keep moving forward.
So I guess when I log off from this Uncapped Notes episode, I should start planning my Disneyland vacation.
I may have made a horrible mistake.